Hi, this is Jamie Magridge coming from my craft table today. I'd like to do a tutorial on this card that I made today. It's an easy, simple one, and let me get started. Flip you down. That works. Alright. There's not a lot of supplies this time. I'm using 2 ink pads, Night of Navy and Pacific Point. I'm going to be using the Swirls and Curls embossing folder. The third smallest, both a scallop and regular from the layering oval framelit thinlits. I'm going to be using this snowflake and this little tiny bow from ALPINE Sports Thinlits dies. It's part of a bundle. And I'm also going to be using the snowflakes from ALPINE Adventure. So I'm using the whole bundle from the ALPINE Adventure. I have 3 strips of cardstock. It's Night of Navy, Pacific Point, and Balmy Blue. They're 1.5 inches wide, approximately 4 inches. It doesn't matter the length as long as it's long enough to go on the front of your card. It could be 3.5 inches or 4 inches, just scrap. I have a piece of the Whisper White, which is 4 by 5 1/4. I have a layer of Night of Navy, which is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 cardstock, which is the thick Whisper White, which is 8.5 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. Those will be my layers. I've already cut out everything for the sake of time. This is with the third from the smallest scalloped oval. I cut out a piece of Night of Navy. From the third from the smallest regular oval, I cut out a piece of scrap of the Whisper White. I cut out 3 of the snowflakes from Whisper White. It's just the thin Whisper White. And from a little tiny scrap of the Balmy Blue, I cut out that little tiny bow. Okay, and let's get started. First thing I want to do is line up the bottoms of my 3 little pieces of strips of cardstock. Oh, there's a couple other things you're going to need. The multi-purpose glue, some of the little basic jewels, some of the linen thread, and some dimensionals. Okay, and a pair of scissors or snips. Okay, so I'm going to, at the one end, I've got the 3 ends lined together. I'm going to clip up to this in the center. And then from the corner, I'm going to clip over, I'm going to fishtail these. And it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. If you want it to be perfect, you can use one of the punches. I've seen people do that. Or one of the square dies. And just clip the end. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to, now at this point, we're going to take the... where did I just put it? I just had it here 2 seconds ago. Oh, over here. We're going to take the embossing folder and we're going to put them in the embossing folder. As long as the tails are all in, it doesn't matter if the top sticks out a little bit because we're going to cut them off at the end anyways. Put them in there, close it up. I'm going to run it through my machine. we've got those. Done with the embossing folder, and we can put that away. Alright, on this little piece here, this little white piece, we're going to do a little bit of stamping. I'm going to bring in a piece of scratch paper so I don't mess up my work surface. Make sure I'm in frame here. Okay, first thing I want to do is the Let It Snow from the Alpine Adventure. This one here. We're going to stamp that with the Night of Navy. Tap it lightly. Make sure it's good and covered. And we're just going to stamp that. It's not centered completely, it's a little bit to the right. Perfect. Clean off that stamp. Then we're going to take the Pacific Point. This one's brand new, it's hard to open for me. And with the two little snowflakes, there's this snowflake and then there's a little teeny tiny one here. I've put them both on one block, and then I'm going to just stamp this a few times on here randomly. First time I want the entire large snowflake and the little snowflake. And then I'm just going to stamp it a couple more random times. And it's okay if it stamps off the paper. Where do I want this other big one? Oh, down here, I guess. And then a couple more small ones. I'm going to wash that off. I got my block. This block is really too big for these stamps. You know what? I'm going to change it out. I'm going to use this little one. Just use this little snowflake. I'm less likely to get ink everywhere. I'll stamp a couple more of these little ones. I think I need one more there. Alright. Put the ink away. We're done stamping. Now we just need to assemble the card. Now on, make sure I don't have ink all over my hands so I don't get it all over my card. Now I'm going to take the Night of Navy layer and the white layer, and we're, no, I don't want to do that yet. I'm going to take this blue piece, the balmy blue piece, and I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of it. I don't want to go all the way to the top because the top's probably going to hang off of the paper. Because these pieces are going to go something like this. We're going to put this one here like this, a little bit up a little bit. This one's going to go on top of it a little bit, but up even higher. This one will go over here, down lower. Okay, so let's glue down this one first. And I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue for this. Gives me a little bit of wiggle room so I can move it if I don't have it exactly where I want it the first time. So I have about 1/4 of an inch from the edge, but it doesn't really matter. Wherever you'd like them. And then we're going to put this one down, the blue one. Make sure you have the right side, although a little bit of variation isn't going to hurt anything. This one's again about 1/4 of an inch from the edge, but up a little bit higher than this blue one. Then we'll remove the backings off of these dimensionals. Garbage can over here. Let's put them in the garbage. And up all over my craft room. fingernail in it, pick it off. Okay, put that one over here, a little bit higher in the centered, overlapping the navy one a little bit. Okay, now we're going to turn it over and we're going to cut off the tops of those. Okay, that one we might be able to use, other ones are kind of small. Alright, now this is the one that we just stamped, should be dry now, so I'm going to adhere that to the blue, navy blue oval, or Night of Navy oval. Okay, and it's going to go about in this vicinity here, and this side can be glued directly to the blue piece, but this side needs dimensionals, or you can do a double layer of dimensionals on this side. Down. Yeah, right about there. Okay. And I'm going to take my linen thread. That's the end of it. There it is. I'm going to wrap it around completely 3 times around the front of the card. I need one more. I do everything in odd numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7. Aesthetically it just looks better, I don't know why. Okay, then over this Let It Snow, I'm going to take one of these loops and put it under all 3 of them, and I'm going to take the other one and put it under the other way, and then I'm going to tie a slate knot. This is kind of awkward. I'm never good at little filly things. My fingers shake too bad. Oops, came off one end. Okay, stay there. Alright. I'm going to tie this. It's the hardest part for me. Keeping it all straight and tight. Tie a little bow. Pull the strings. Okay, then I spread out these little ends so that it looks like there's 3 strands. So you can actually see that there's 3 strands. Make sure it's under this circle. Clip this a little bit, it's a little too long. Okay, then this little blue bow, I'm gonna put a little dab of glue on the back of it and glue it right on top of that other bow. This glue is almost empty. Right on top of that one. These have to come down a little bit. There we go. Alright, then there's snowflakes get glued on. Put one over here. And I just put little dabs of this glue on here. If you get too much, Take your scratch paper and dab it on the scratch paper to get some of it off so it doesn't ooze out. Take a little piece of scratch paper, dab it on, pick it up, and we're going to put this one about here. Little bits of glue. This one's going to go down here. The third one will go over on this one. Over here. Ah! I should have dabbed that one off. Too much glue on it. Okay. This one gets glued to the navy layer. Make sure you get plenty of glue along this top edge here, because this linen thread holds it up off the thing a little bit. So it makes it hard to get that edge to glue down. You might want to use your tape runner. And this just has a little 1/8 of an inch border all the way around it. Okay, then we're going to glue that to the front of our card. Just had a little spot on it, so I wanted to cover it up with the card front. Okay, and this one again has a little 1/8 of an inch border all the way around it. Alright, and that's pretty all on its own, but I decided to add a little bit of bling to it to step it up a notch. So I just took, I can use the tweezers. I took 3 of the larger pearl jewels, put them inside these snowflakes. I don't have the pick me up tool yet. And you can leave it here, or you can continue and add more. I've got a different tool over here I want to use. It works better. I took some of the smaller ones. Put one of these ones here. And the little ones I just scattered about. Dog hair and hair stuck everywhere. Put one on top of the bow. Just made it look finished. One more. Come on, pick up. Thank you. You don't want to go on there, do you? Okay. And that's my card for today. Well, thank you for joining me at my craft table. I am, again, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. If you see anything you like and would like to have today, You can order it from my online store. Again, my name is Jamie Magrich. And thank you very much and have a wonderful rest of your day.